A galactic civil war spreads across the sun. From the heights of Coruscant to fiery Mustafar, to fight the evil empire, for people join the fray. These are the heroes of the Hydian Way.
Welcome to Heroes of the Hydian Way. This is a Star Wars actual play podcast, and we're playing in Edge Studios' Age of Rebellion system. This is Arc 3, Episode 19 of The Hard Road. I'm Ben, the GM for this adventure, and I'm using they-them pronouns.
I'm Erica Goodwitch. I play Norin Gremian, who uses they-them pronouns, and they are an engineer-scientist.
I'm Henry. I use she-they pronouns, and I'll be playing Isasel An, who uses she-her pronouns, and she's a ship pilot and captain.
I'm Joy. I use she, her, and I play Kedra Javik, who also is a she, her, and she is a sharpshooter. Pew pew.
To get to know our characters a little bit better, we get one to ask everyone a question. And today, it is Isazel's turn.
So I'm guessing that this was like one of those another points is like meeting, like another meeting was done, another PowerPoint was over, and just like Isabel is trying to get everyone back to like from business to like, okay, let's gotta keep it cash, gotta keep it casual, you know. So she just looks at everyone's like, like Norin, Kidra, just so I can know for the future, like I want to know, how would you describe your perfect party? And ignore the birthday list that I have in my folder.
Oh, like a party? Like a hunting party? Oh, let's see. If we do hunting party, we have to have somebody who is very good at field dressing, and somebody who is good at like cooking the meat once we get it all cut up and butchered. Oh, there's so many people that you just have to find somebody who is good at being quiet. You don't want noisy people in your party. It'd be very bad because then you scare all the animals away. Is that the kind of party you like?
Funnily enough, that actually covers both types of parties, actually, knowing you.
Oh, like for birthday?
Yeah, if we're doing a birthday party, but I have a feeling the same thing. You need someone who's good with dressing, someone who's good at cooking the meat, the people who bring their own talents to a party so that everyone brings someone. Some people who are not too loud, because you can't have everyone who's all loud.
Oh, yes, it sounds perfect. Maybe a little dressy. I like to dress up sometimes.
Okay, dressing, party where you can dress up, got it. What about you, Norm? What would be your perfect party?
I always really enjoyed the parties that were outside around a campfire. With good food and stories and things like that. Maybe a little alcohol.
Estelle's just like kind of tapping into like her tablet, just like, okay. Well, I already have mine filled out, but my perfect party is just, truthfully, I would love a ball one day. Just inviting a lot of people to dress up as best they can to celebrate, not even just a person, just a time for people to enjoy dance and food, and it always sounded amazing. I went to one when I was younger, and I've always wanted to go again. We didn't do anything like that on my home planet. It's just something very much the rest of the galaxy does. I want to see more of. Our Coruscant has very good galas.
A ball? I got
They-
balls. I can
they
get you a
do.
ball.
Would
They're
you wear
very
like
nice.
a big, nice, fancy dress too, or?
Oh, absolutely. Like a big dress with the makeup, the hair, the nails, everything. I don't always just like, she kind of points to her work outfit like this.
But you're so pretty.
Oh, thank you, Kidra.
Ah, it's true.
But there's a
I
difference
think you
between
would look good
pretty
in a
and
garbage
elegant.
bag. You're so pretty.
That's a challenge for later. I will make a garbage bag look good.
Oh, I bet you would. I think you would be so beautiful and it would just look so... I cannot. I would make a garbage bag look like a garbage bag.
Finding the right outfit for an occasion can help ease anxieties.
So true.
So, I wore a dress to one of the galas on Coruscant. I was kind of had to go to when I was still at the university, and I just felt awkward the entire time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the next one I went to, I wore like this cool asymmetrical suit thing that my sister helped me pick out, and I felt a little more comfortable that time. There's still so many people and small talk and everything, but
honestly, if we put you in a nice fitted suit, get your hair done up and slicked, and we gotta give you a mean look so people don't want to come speak to you. Maybe give you something like some important like badge on you so people try to avoid you so they can know you're too important to talk to. There's ways of keeping the small talk from happening when you don't want to.
I'll trust your cunning.
So, before we get too far ahead, let's get a Destiny pool going.
Of course, naturally.
That's okay. I got us a light side. I tried to help. Just a little.
I think last time we recorded, I said I was unsatisfied if Norin got light side, so I'm fine with having a dark side point.
We brought the light side.
I mean, there's that, and then also, it isn't just all one way. It has some variety to it. The camera starts off looking at the side of a building. This building has been pretty damaged. You can see where things have bounced off of it. Like, this is a Duracrete building, and it's got gouges taken out of it. You can see at about stomach level where there's a post that is sticking out of the Duracrete that looks to be from like a light post. There's a huge amount of deuterus and debris just all over the place. And this door gets thumped open, almost falling out, but able to catch everyone's selves, is Norin and Izazel getting out of the underground fuel facility and being able to actually get back up onto the surface. As they step out from the door, you see the three of the M's carrying the other one back, and the lead M is looking around while the other two are mostly making sure that they have all of M4's pieces and they aren't accidentally losing anything on the way. M1 is just scanning, is trying to see where the Space Camino is.
I go over to the M's and I take my backpack off and sling it open to them and whistle at them to put the M4 into my bag, and I'll carry them.
They'll be able to get M4 mostly in. I'm figuring the legs aren't collapsing back properly, so the legs are going to be sticking out of the top of the backpack, but you'll be able to carry most of it. Yeah.
And while you're doing that, Isel's just gonna just turn on the comms, just like try to connect to Troy. He's like, Troy, can you read me?
It's fairly heavily static.
Oh yes, Captain, I can hear you. It's been a bit of a madhouse here.
I feel that. I just giving you the note. We're no longer in danger of exploding, but you probably heard about the other danger.
Oh yes, the other one. That other one also causes explosion, doesn't it?
Oh yes, Captain. We absolutely can do that. We've everything ready to ascend, and the engines are working at full now that our three technical competences have been able to work together. It'll take us but a moment for us to release the capture clamps on the pod.
Absolutely, darling. I mean, what else do you have me here for? Operate the switchboard and look extremely handsome.
You audibly hear a connection being made, and now everyone's on a single circuit.
Okay, everyone, this is gonna seem a little out there, but you're just gonna have to listen to me, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Keidra? Oop,
Yes.
Are you still with... Looks back at Norin. What was her name again? Nora? Lenore?
Lenore.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lenore, take it. Okay, you and Lenore get back to the ship. Trailway, I need you to do something. You and the rest of them prepare something for me. Move as many of the supplies that we can spare into the container for the ship. Leave medics and Ouch. We're going to leave that here. We need to get off this planet immediately. We need to let people know what is going on here. We can't take everyone with us, but we're going to leave as much of the supplies behind.
We could just leave the pod, disconnect from the pod, and they'd still be able to use it as like a temporary shelter and things.
Norn, you're reading my mind.
But yeah, we
Oh, yes, Captain. We absolutely can do that. We've everything ready to ascend, and the engines are working at full now that our 3 technical competences have been able to work together. It'll take us but a moment for us to release the capture clamps on the pod.
Okay. Prepare that, and Ghidra, I need you to... I'm going to trust them the way I trusted Shen. I need you to speak with Lenore if anyone needs to leave this planet. Lenore needs to let us know so we can get them into the ship and get them off. I leave that to you to decide. Not on comms. I'm still not 100% sure of who's listening, so we'll meet you there.
Okay. That sounds good. I will talk to Lenore, and we will do what we can.
Okay, we'll meet you at the ship. And cuts off comms and go, now where is our space camino? Ah, there it is. I was like, should I roll a perception or is it going to kind of be obvious?
I'm going to go with it's going to be obvious. So as you're looking over there, I'm figuring it's pretty much dawn at this point. That a lot of the stuff that is just in previous episodes had been happening at night. As y'all were coming up from the depths of the storage facility, local dawn has started to happen. And as such, you can see the cloudy, sooty sky. And you can also see the shadow of a large triangle sort of blocking out some of the sun, eclipsing a bit of the clouds, or ash, or whatever it is that's there. Sort of doing a reverse version of the Batman symbol.
I have a bit for finding the space El Camino if you want to go for it, because we probably have the keys. Can it have like one of those little buttons that for the alarms? So it's just like...
Absolutely.
Just like... And it... You just hear it like... Pop, 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 pop. There it is. I need a bit of joy in this terrible environment. And a young hut like this sounds like the person who would do that to their vehicle.
I love it. As soon as you hear that, it's like, oh, behind the remains of a guard post that has been half smashed and deposited in the middle of an alleyway. As soon as you get past it, you can see the Space Camino right there, still floating on its repulsors.
I'm so sad we won't be able to take this with us. All right, everyone, get in.
Okay. Norin struggles to open the side door and then sort of falls into the passenger seat and slams it behind them.
I do want to do a piloting planetary roll to get back to the Codfather.
Oh, absolutely. What kind of difficulty are we looking at?
Okay, I'm figuring that this is going to be a 2 red, 1 purple kind of a check. And it's essentially more of a montage-ish thing, which is the reason why it's so difficult. The streets have not had a chance to be cleared. There's no one really doing that at the moment. And definitely not in this neck of the woods. Other than the 2/6 of you, there's no one else who has come to the Turbo Laser Factory since everything went down.
Alrighty, that's 3 yellows, 2 reds, and a purple so far. Can I argue for a boost? Because I have my co-pilot Norin right there, helping guide it, like where we're going.
No, because I'm not helping guiding you. I'm doing something else on my data pad.
Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna do that without Norin. Then you know what? I'm gonna use one of those destiny points then.
Sorry, but no.
Oh no, I feel we're gonna find out what that is soon. So that's gonna be 3 yellow, a green, 2 red, and a purple. You know what? I'm gonna roll, and then I'm gonna decide what I say as we go. Oh wow! Oh my lord! A success, a threat, a triumph, and a despair. And you just hear when the car starts, Issa looks at the road, looks at the city, and goes, "Feels just like Aurelia again." So let's go down what we just rolled.
Okay, so you are able to make it back. That is a success. There have been some people trying to effect some structural repairs to buildings and that, but this is a pretty damaged area. So, like, there are buildings that are toppling and that sort of stuff. So I'm figuring the threat is going to be a strain on account of having to dodge. Like, as you're driving through, you hear a loud whoosh and creaking as a bit 20 stories up gives way and is coming down onto the hoverway that you're on. Yeah, you have to dodge out of the way of that. But we do have a triumph. And I'm kind of wanting to know what the heck you want to do with the triumph before I think of anything for the despair.
Oh.
Because you don't want us to use our triumph to counter your despair.
Well, it's more along the lines of I don't want to use my despair to counter your triumph.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you know what? I'm gonna use the triumph as rough as this ride is gonna be, as terrifying as this ride is gonna be, whatever is gonna happen to this vehicle, the triumph is one thing, which is whatever Norin's doing, Isabel's learned one thing, which is how to drive and make sure her passenger has a great ride. So whatever upgrade or boost I could give with the Triumph to Norin for whatever check they want to make right now, I want to use a Triumph for that word of they have the smoothest ride. Unlike Isasa, who is low-key terrified about what's going on in front of her.
All right, I love that. I mean, what I'm doing with the despair is honestly fairly obvious, but I also don't really want to say it until we've had Norin do their thing of what they're doing.
Norin's trying to use the Comlink interceptor part of their general purpose scanner hooked up to their data pad to boost that to try and pick up Shen's comm signal to see if they can find him and get him off planet. One of Norin's duties is personnel.
Norin is running through settings, using everything on their datapad to try and get a bearing on the Shen's comm signal, and is just coming up with nothing. During the entire time, Izazel is able to dodge out of everything, is able to deal with a couple other people who are actually driving out in this wasteland. The trip is a bit long. Like, you aren't able to use the same route that you were to get to the facility to get back, but you are able to make your way there. It takes a little bit longer. As you pull into the refugee area around the Codfather, you can see a few things. One, the tents that had been set up have been moved away from where the Codfather is. Everything's been moved back, say, 200 feet. So now, other than the pod, everything else is far enough away. And you can also see that on the crater side of everything, someone has taken a bunch of debris that had been just lying around. Like, I'm talking piles of dirt, crate, that sort of stuff. Shards of it in some ways. And piling it up on the crater side. So it's creating a little bit of a bulwark. Yeah, everything's been moved away. But as you do, the gauges on the Space Camino start to flicker. And you can see several of them going into very bad positions. Like, engine temp is going through the roof, that sort of stuff. Batteries are starting to drop. And pretty much as you get within walking distance of the Codfather, like reasonable walking distance, the engines within the Space Camino die, and it comes to a skidding halt.
We're here.
And thus I use a despair.
Iso kind of gets out of like when she gets out of the vehicle, looks back at it, kind of puts her hand over like her chest, like you did well, Space Camino, and then like tries to, like lead the M's back onto the ship, just like it's like okay, everyone, let's get on this ship and start prepare what we need left.
Yeah, we need to eject the pod and get all of the materials together. And
At this point, I'm thinking that pulling up almost directly next to the Space Camino, but on the opposite side from the Codfather, the somewhat battle-worn bus pulls up, and the door on that opens. You can see Lenore, who's been driving. Kedra is somewhere on that bus. Would Kedra have been up near where Lenore is driving, or?
Yeah, she would be with Lenore. Because she feels so guilty. Like, she feels like she killed Shen. She knows he's still alive because she just had that radio comm with him.
Mm-hmm.
But she's feeling like, I can't go in and get him, can't extract him, and he's pretty much gone. And so she's feeling so bad, like she feels so guilty. So she's going to stay by Lenore, like, because she wants to take any punishment she gives her. So she's just like, oh, what can I do for you? And I'm so sorry.
For the moment, let's get all of these passengers out of here.
Yes.
And let's make sure that this one,
She'll point at Garv.
let's make sure that this one actually gets on your ship.
Okay. She's going to help Garv while helping to direct the others. She's going to help lift him.
Garv has taken the antidote that Norn had provided, but I'm assuming with all the fun that Garv has experienced in the last, say, 24 hours, Garv is fairly out of it.
Yes.
So
I'm going to throw him over my shoulder like if he was a deer. I'm going to just go and haul him off.
yeah, that's probably the most practical thing.
Follow me, guys. Follow me. We try our best to get off it here, okay? Come. She's going to try to direct everyone towards the Codfather as best she can. She's going to keep looking, but she's also like tentative. Like she's trying to take her mind off of things, so she's going to focus on getting these people to safety.
Like, there's an overfull bus worth, I'm figuring 45 people getting off of this bus. It starts slow and then it just becomes sort of a steady flow of people getting off and going wherever they're directed. The nearest entrance onto the Codfather is the pod side entrance, because getting into the Codfather proper is normally a to-do. Like, you're either having to go up or into the engine section, which is just, it doesn't have entrances for it. So most entries always into the pod and then into the Codfather itself. As they start approaching the trauma pod, you can see the effects of it, but you can't really see who's doing it. As they get within, call it 20 feet of the pod's door, and then almost all of them are getting directed towards where the tents are. And they seem to be mostly going towards where the intake tent is. They're walking, and then one who is limping and has looked like they have gone through some level of hell is directed to get in, and you can see a nurse help them in. Pretty much like they take a couple steps on from where this decision point is, and a nurse is out already to get them onto a hovercot. As the line finishes going in that direction, you can see Aziz standing there with a comically large rifle slung over his back, like looking far too big for him to actually be able to carry, but somehow he is. And you can also hear in the distance Lone moving, and it sounds like whatever he's moving is heavy. as soon as the stream of people are done or are directed to where they're needing to, a Z will come over. Oh, good. You're all back. Oh no. 1, 2, 3. You're not the 4.
We're missing
Yes, we
Shin.
are missing Shen.
Oh.
Um,
We heard from Trailway to get the ship ready to depart, though we were already doing it anyway. We were told to. The engines are ready to go. The hyperdrive is ready, though this thing is a lumbering dewback. It doesn't really dance well. It has a lot of go, but it doesn't go fast, and it doesn't go well.
Don't worry,
That's
Aziz.
supposed to be code about getting past the blockade or something.
Maybe? With what got communicated to us, it sounded like y'all were trying to run the blockade. And, well, this is a cargo ship. I'm here for trying, but it's going to be difficult.
Norin is just staring at all of the people that they are surrounded by, all of the victims of the quote-unquote explosion who are going to suffer because of the blockade, but also doesn't need to maybe hear that that's kind of our fault, and that we're planning on trying to leave them. Let's go to the conference room.
Unless Kedra or Izazel's wanting to do something else, it seems like.
I'm going to go take the guy that I have on my shoulder and deposit him in med bay, just so that he has a place that's comfy to sleep in, and if need be, we can hook him up to an IV or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to put him down. Oof, you're so heavy, man. Like, you sleep well, have good rest, and maybe when this is all done, you will be good. Okay. I go find my friends now. And then I go hunt for Norn. Where are they?
Norin is typing furiously away at their datapad. Now they're starting to use the ship's resources to try and expand their futile efforts. And I think if you're going to come find them, it's like right when you're around the corner that they curse very loudly and throw their datapad, and it shatters against the wall.
Oh, why you throw that? It is okay. Don't need to be angry at technology.
I'm not angry at technology. I'm angry about everything.
Oh, okay.
Do you need something specific, or are you just here for the team meeting?
I deposited the person in the med room just to make sure he's not dead. He's sleeping now nicely, just let you know, and then also for team meeting because I need to be there. She looks like a whip dog. Okay, I'll sit down now.
Okay.
She tenderly walks over quietly and takes a seat.
I will go check their vitals real quick. His, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Vitals, real quick, just to make sure he's fine. And I'll come back, and they storm off. I'm sorry.
No. She's gonna look around. I'm so sorry.
Soon after Kedra sits down in the conference room, Trellway's going to show up. Z is going to be there pretty quickly after. Lenore is probably going to be probably the second last one in, just on account of what Norn was doing, Lenore is also doing. Like, taking a look at the now refugee camp, the disaster camp that is being set up there. There's just so many people there. It takes someone mentioning to her that isn't she supposed to be in a meeting for her to actually snap out of it and move towards the conference, she knows where the conference room is. Move towards the conference room. What is Izazel up to?
So she's probably going to be the last one into the meeting, waiting for everyone to go in. Because her big thing right now, there's one last thing on the ship she's checking that she might need for the escape out of here. She's checking to see if anyone ever installed that tractor beam she ordered, or if it's still in a box. Because this whole time she's had that, and she's like, "It's fine." I clicked her head, like, "I might need that, or I might be able to do something if it's still in the box." So, can I use a destiny point that in all this time, Troway or Aziz for like, we should probably install that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of the three of them has been able to install that. Because Hookman, even though Hookman is down an arm, they're still a fairly competent mechanic as well.
I'm still gonna use that light side point because it's like kind of like just like for her to check it, go through it, and just like, okay, it's in. And she just like kind of waits for everyone to go in the room, and then she goes into the conference room. Once she notices like Lenore and Norin head their way that way.
Just as to finish this sort of wrap up aspect of Garv, Norn's able to find that, other than being dehydrated, a little bit on the malnourished side, as in they probably haven't eaten for at least a day, probably a bit longer.
Right.
They've been in the tender loving care of the Imperial Intelligence Division, so there's been a lot done to them. That being said, it doesn't look like anything that's going to be long-lasting physically. I'm figuring that Garv would have been put down in the pod on account of that would have been where the best medical facility to check him out in is. But now that he's been checked out and seems to be somewhat suitable for travel, I'm thinking that Hookman is there to pretty much do what Keeter did of putting him over his shoulder, and he will put Garv down in a as gentle of a fashion that a one-armed person can on the biobed in the Codfather's internal medbay / Norin's science office, then head into the conference room, making sure that Garv is actually fully on the ship, so that if / when plans are executed, we don't have to go looking for him.
Okay.
Everyone's now in the somewhat overflowing conference room.
Yeah, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 people in here.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little full. So the captain kind of walks in, looks at everyone's like, okay, everyone's here? Everyone's here knows things? Yes, okay. She very quick, like, just kind of walks over to, like, whatever, like, holo projector we have, presses the button, brings up, like, kind of like a map of, like, this system and nearby systems, like, hyperspace lanes. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go over this because I don't know, like, looks at Lenore, I don't know if you're staying or going, or if you can get some information to anyone here. But there's some things that are from when we first came in, I should probably let be known. She kind of clicks a button and kind of shows a hyperspace lane. This is the hyperspace lane most people go down. It's the one that, if I had to put a few credits on it, the Imperials are currently keeping an eye on. And if you remember when we first came in, I had a good roll where we came in a very, very different way, where we surprised the Imperials. She brings up that travel point we went. This is the direction we came in. I'm putting my credits on because the ship we went was the one that had Garv on it originally. It might not be known yet that this is the direction we came from. I can't be 100% sure of that. Call it a gut feeling. We're going to try to set up a perfect time to directly go up this route and do our best not to get noticed. We cannot fight these Imperials head on. If they attack us, we are in grave danger. But we can get out of here without being noticed much. That is our best chance of getting out. And I do know a few tricks for that one. Could be dangerous if done improperly, but I feel like this is the crew that we have, and these are risks that we're left with that we must take. She kind of like clicks a few buttons and like the shows like the planet rotating. It's like, Troe, Norin, I need your help to time when we must leave here and try to escape the atmosphere, because the moment we're out of atmosphere, we need to be going into hyperspace, which means hitting hyperspace right on the edge of the atmosphere, which Norin, you know, is dangerous. Do it too soon, we can cause some issues. Too late, we'll be noticed by the Imperials.
I could maybe make some tweaks to the hyperspace engine to help with that. It'll still be dangerous, but less so, more possible.
That's a good idea.
Some of the courses I studied had to do with hyperspace travel, and specifically unusual hyperspace travel, like the old path engines of the Nihil back in during the High Republic era and things like that. So I can probably pull up some research notes on that real quick and try and apply some sort of pirate criffery.
Norn, I love that. Like, you'll work on that. I have a plan on to, if the Imperials do spot us, at least have a backup plan of them not knowing that we left. That means I need to take out the ship's transponder, and I look over at Lenore and Kidra. How attached are we to that bus that you came in?
I'm not very attached to it.
So my plan is, I use the tractor beam that we just installed in the ship to pull that bus with us as high as we can with our transponder in it. When we're getting ready to drop out of hyperspace, we drop that bus with a timer of the transponder so it looks like our ship is crashing again. We hit hyperspace, get out, and they just think that a ship crashed.
This is why you are captain. You're very smart.
Smart? No, that's Norin. I'm just a little cunning.
That sounds like a good idea for this ship. I don't know that that's something that buys this planet much.
It won't buy this planet much if we don't maximize what we can do with this escape.
The conditions that the Empire put on the blockade is that the terrorists who were killing their troops and sabotaging their facilities is turned in.
Okay, I will go. You guys can escape. Then that way, you guys will be able to do what you need to
Don't be
Kidra, no. Kidra, no matter who we give them, do we really think the Empire's just gonna let it go? We can give them everybody involved in what was going on here, and they will still not believe that's everyone.
That's true.
Our only chance is to get communications from people off this... Lenore?
Unless they get someone they know is an Imperial operative who has a bit of a record within the Imperial intelligence machinations.
If you're suggesting yourself, then no. But if they know that you escaped the planet,
Even if they know I've escaped the planet, they'll continue the punishment of the planet. Maybe if it's documented that I've handed myself over, then there's a chance that they're willing to live up to what they've broadcast.
No, this is Imperial. They will not live up to what they broadcast. But I could buy time if I turn myself in. You guys, I can shoot them still. Turn myself in a little, make it look like I turned myself in. You guys escape. Buy a
Kidra,
little
we're
time.
not losing another
Kidra,
member.
I will lock you into your bunk.
That don't sound very fun.
Lenore? Kidra, I understand where you're coming from. You feel the responsibility of what is happening here on your shoulders. But it's not just you two. It's not even just this whole crew. Or the people fighting back. This goes farther back. They want this planet to be completely subjugated. No amount of self-sacrifice, of giving ourselves to them, will do anything. But if we get those who can help off the planet to bring help in, to continue the fight here,
To get help from where, Isabel? There's just the Empire. There's no one else. You think what? Do you think the Hutts are gonna fight the Empire and help this planet? Do you think any of like Crimson Dawn, like what?
Quick question out of character. Where did Norin leave that hollow comm unit that was left with the note? Was it left in this room where they were working on it, or did they keep it on themselves?
It's either on themselves or it's hidden in their bunk. I don't remember which, but those would have been the two options.
Norin, there's people fighting everywhere.
Guerrilla movements.
Currently,
guerrilla movements. Lenore, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't a guerrilla movement here on this planet what caused this? What sparked this entire event in the first place?
What sparked this was an officer getting jumpy at a protest that was starting to get rowdy. We got brought in entirely so that we could bring our experience on keeping things calm. It still got out of hand. That's one of the reasons I feel so guilty. Like, it shouldn't have gone this way. It should have been protests. It might have been a bit of stormtroopers opening fire. We were somewhat ready for that. But artillery fire? Space fire on a facility like this? It's such an overreaction. They got so criffing scared. But there aren't just fighting groups. Not everyone is like the partisans. Some people actually try and help. I mean, there's a reason why ISR was requested.
Crew, I'll ask you one thing. Listen, I understand that this seems hopeless. Against all of this seems hopeless, but we have to try. Even when we make mistakes. Even when we don't know if we're doing the right thing or not. To try and do the right thing. To fight against oppression. That is the key to everything. They will keep trying to oppress it, and we will keep fighting back. We will keep pushing back. For that which is fair, that which is just. It means we have to try. Otherwise, what is the worth of the sacrifices that have already been made?
Oh, Captain, I think that ISI might be able to do more than just send a Wayfarer-sized ship. We have larger hospital ships, and we have much larger support ships. A ship like this, with what Lenore was saying about what she was expecting, yeah, this ship would have been able to supplement the hospital just fine. But this level of a disaster, maybe something as big as that colony ship we saw a while back, that might do it. We've got a few big ones. Something that big's got a chance. But they gotta know. They don't know. They don't come.
Thank you, Hookman. Crew, I'm going to ask this once. Please, try with me to do the right thing. When this mission's over, if you don't want to keep going through this, I understand. But right now's the moment we need to come together and make this happen.
All right. Maybe the higher ups at ISR can figure out how to improve this. So we absolutely do need to get out. If you need me, I will be at the hyperspace engine. And Norin gets up and goes to leave, remembers what happened to their datapad, and turns back around and holds their hand out. I need someone's datapad.
Isabel hands hers.
Oh, okay.
Whichever one goes into their hand first, they grab and they
I'm gonna give
turn
you
and
mine.
leave. Okay.
Keetra's gonna give you hers. She's gonna be like, I don't use it anyways.
This is also true. Jarwin, me and you need to go and see if we can figure out this hyperspace route. And stops, looks at Lenore. Lenore, I'm going to ask you a question, and you can trust me as much as you want or not on this one. How good are you at things that involve a bit of skullduggery? Are you closer towards your brother or your talent elsewhere?
Oh, I've had some of the basic courses from the Shistavenin Intelligence Department.
Would you be good enough to attach a transponder onto the bus, or would you need help with that?
Oh, something that simple, I can do it.
Alright. You and Keidra work on that. Keidra, make sure Lenore is covered. I want to make sure everyone gets back on this ship when it's time. Me and Troe are going to figure out our pathing and get this ship ready.
Okay, I'll make sure she's safe.
And while you're outside, make sure Lone gets on the ship.
Oh, okay. He's my buddy. He's so fun. I like him.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Heroes of the Hydian Way. You can find show updates at linktree/The Hydian Way, and you can find me on the socials at Deuterium Ice.
You can find me, Erica, and all of my mercenary work at linktree/Erica Goodwitch.
You could find me, Henry, everywhere as @SimDisorder with one Y and one I in that order.
You can find me, Joy, on the Other Place podcast, season 2 with Tilana, and live on twitch.tv/joyfullyme with the number 2, playing a variety of games.
And we are all at thehydianway.com, where you can find previous episodes and previous seasons.
You can find more episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Plus, you can help us out by rating, reviewing, and subscribing.
You can holocom us at heroes@thehydianway.com, and you can find merch at tpublic.com/user/thehydianway.
If you like what we do and want to support the show,
With a cask subscription at kofi.com/thehydianway.
do.